Yeah, you got this.
Yeah. Oh my God! Oh, there it is right there.
You got this. Come on. Shoes untied. Don't worry about it. Very entertaining. Yeah, right. You better be. We've been watching for an hour.
Well, we've been here for you, man.
That's true.
Yeah, no,
every
see
drop.
who hasn't bailed out.
Well, I don't fucking bailed on you. You never will. Unless you don't get it.
There it is.
Oh my God! It failed!
That is awesome.
Yes!
That is awesome, dude.
That's how you
That was awesome. Fuck, bro.
I
got the picture a little late.
Imagine trying out for one of the world's biggest bands and not knowing who they are until a few seconds before the audition. That's exactly what happened to Jay Weinberg, the new drummer for Slipknot. In a new interview, Jay, who's the son of Bruce Springsteen drummer Max Weinberg and who was a super fan of Slipknot as a kid, got a call to come out to LA for a big audition. However, it wasn't until he got there that he was told, all right, go in that room, there's a drum set, you're going to audition for Slipknot right now. He continues, half the band was there. We had become good friends over 16 years. They watched me grow up as a person. They didn't know that I knew the band's songs. They knew I loved the band, but they didn't really know to what extent I had studied the music. Needless to say, Weinberg got the job replacing beloved drummer Joey Jordison. For more on this story.
Slipknot consumes my life ever since it came into my life. It started with a dream, and all it takes is just the passion to see that dream through, to keep going and fight through adversity and fight through everyone saying no and, just fuck all that. It's all about surviving this fucking ridiculous thing called Slipknot. My name is Jay Weinberg. I played drums in the band Slipknot, and that sentence is totally insane to me. 14 years old, haven't picked up a drumstick in my life before. 23 years old, gets asked to play with his favorite band. My parents wanted to show me and my sister the world through music and through art. My dad being a drummer and being a creative person, he instilled in me and my sister a work ethic that a life in music takes a lot of dedication.
And that's the thing with rock and roll, whether you're from my generation or his generation, you play until it hurts. And you play the drums as if they owe you money.
This band came on the late night show.
My next guest began playing together 5 years ago in their native Des Moines, Iowa. They are one of the hottest bands in the country. Please welcome Slipknot.
My dad came home and was like, you gotta check out this thing that I just saw. These crazy guys wear these masks. I've never heard music like this. You gotta see this, you're gonna love this. They invited us to a show, we gotta go. This is music, and this is powerful music. This is going to define the rest of my life. Met the guys, started a friendship there.
We were in the situation that we were in, and someone said Jay Weinberg, and I said, I love Jay Weinberg. Does he play drums? And just because his dad is Max Weinberg does not mean that he is a drummer and can be the drummer in Slipknot.
After spending a lot of time on the road, different bands, I stopped touring entirely and went back to school. A manager who managed this band I used to be in calls me and says, "What are you doing?" I have something, I think you'd want to do it. Can you just trust me and get out here to LA? Without hesitation, I was just like, yeah, okay, I can do that. I didn't know what it was for, but I knew if someone is asking me to come play drums on something, I want to kick the shit out of it. I go out there, let's go to this studio, and they're like, all right, there's a drum set. We'll bring in Slipknot in like 20 minutes. That cool? I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Just from going on muscle memory from when I was like 14, 15 in my shed, we played about like 20 Slipknot songs. It was like, all right, man, if you want this, it's yours. I'm a kid with a dream, and I feel so fortunate and so honored to have been able to hop over the barrier onto the stage and have this opportunity to create and bring some sort of contribution to this band I love so much. It's the most enjoyable, self-destructive, euphoric experience, and it takes a lot of blood, it takes a lot of pain, but it's all worth it because Slipknot is the greatest band, period.
That's why I said let's go down, because he's all like,
That seem cool, Jay?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Get down on the fucking ground. Right now. That's perfect.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Ready?
Slipknot is preparing to release their album, We Are Not Your Kind, upcoming on August 9th. And with that, a visitor to the grave of none other than Slipknot bassist Paul Gray noticed an interesting drumstick at the site. Now, before I get to this, I do want to point out that this has not been verified by the Slipknot camp, but if this is real, this is a very powerful and touching move by Jay Weinberg. Take a look. According to Redditor A. Simons81, who visited the grave of late Slipknot bassist Paul Gray, he located a drumstick which read the following: "Dear Paul, I hope you're proud of the music we've created. Your presence guides this band in spirit and sound. I think you'll dig the new record. At least I hope you do. All the respect and love in the world. We are not your kind. Long live the knot. Jay." This note hasn't specifically been confirmed by Jay, but someone would have to be a pretty terrible person to fake something like this. It's hard to believe it's been so long since Paul has been gone, and his legacy continues to live on, even through Jay Weinberg's mask, which a lot of people noticed was sort of a subtle tribute, or not so subtle tribute, to him.
Horror movies.
Horror movies. Favorite horror movies? Halloween, The Ring, 28 Days Later, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Classics, you know? Yeah.
Slipknot fans around the world are continuing to try to make sense of that shocking news that drummer Jay Weinberg had been dismissed from the band. Slipknot considers it a creative decision, according to the band's own statement, with Weinberg now opening up and ready to speak about that heartbreaking news he received back on November 5th. Weinberg says he was totally blindsided by this news, and he learned of his firing from the group he was a member of for more than 10 years by way of just a phone call. Here's what Slipknot originally said in that shocking statement. Slipknot truly shocked the world with this announcement, writing, "We would like to thank Jay Weinberg for his dedication and passion over the past 10 years. No one can ever replace Joey Jordison's original sound, style, or energy. But Jay honored Joey's parts and contributed to the last 3 albums, and we, the band, and the fans appreciate it. But as ever, Slipknot is intent on evolving. The band has decided to make a creative decision and to part ways with Jay. We wish Jay all the best and are very excited for what the future holds." Still, very little is known about the reasons for Jay Weinberg's departure. He didn't seem to have any personal issues. Why would Slipknot let go of a drummer who, by all accounts, was very talented? We don't know. And quite frankly, it's really hard to tell because things could be going on behind the scenes that you never know about. But this is Jay Weinberg's statement. Jay is opening up. He released a very heartfelt statement announcing how things went for him and how he feels about this entire situation. It's no secret Jay Weinberg is a lifelong Slipknot fan. He alludes to that in his statement. He said, "I sometimes wonder what it would be like to pay a visit to my wide-eyed 10-year-old self, falling head over heels in love with the new and exciting sound and culture, and tell him all about the past 10 years. Even on the hardest days, I'd like to think he'd be stoked about the adventure that was in store for him. I was heartbroken and blindsided to receive the phone call that I did on the morning of November 5th, the news of which most of you learned shortly after. However, I've been overwhelmed by and truly grateful for the outpouring of love and support I've received from this incredible community I consider to be my creative and artistic home. This is not the ending to the journey I dreamt of and committed myself to seeing through, not by a long shot. But despite the confusion and sadness, there's something that's provided an equal amount of comfort. For many of you reading this, 10 years ago, we weren't yet acquainted, and now we are. For that, I'm thankful in ways I'll never be able to fully express. I love playing the drums. I'll always love playing the drums. I'll always have a passion for music, art, and creative expression. Nothing will ever change that." It's totally clear from that statement that Jay Weinberg was deeply upset by this news, and who wouldn't be? And he even says in that he's still confused about why he's not a member of Slipknot. And I think that is that's a tough thing to deal with. He, by outward appearances, devoted himself to the band. He did an amazing job performing with the group, and it doesn't sound as though he has clarity on why he lost his job. And for that, I feel a lot of empathy for him. Yesterday, we heard for the first time from recently dismissed Slipknot drummer Jay Weinberg after that shocking statement went out on November 5th announcing he was no longer with the legendary metal band. The group referred to it as a creative decision. Beyond that, little to nothing is known about what led to this decision. Weinberg himself in this statement revealed he was blindsided by the news and is still confused as to why he's no longer in the group. But he is grateful for the 10-year journey in the band, and he obviously had a great tenure with the group. It's impossible to fill Joey Jordison's shoes, but Jay Weinberg was loved by the fans, and he did a great job in an impossible situation, quite frankly. But not everyone wishes Jay Weinberg well. Against Me frontwoman Laura Jane Grace is weighing in on his departure from the group, his former bandmate. Weinberg reportedly quit Against Me back in 2014 by posting on Facebook, and according to the band, never speaking to them about this. Laura Jane Grace says she just learned about it on Facebook and literally never talked to him again. So she's referring to this as poetic justice. So now Against Me frontwoman Laura Jane Grace is weighing in on this and is clearly not happy with the way things ended with Weinberg's tenure in the group back in 2014. It looks like Jay at the time quit the band to join Slipknot and did so, posting a statement in writing. The band says they never spoke to him about this. So this is what Laura Jane Grace had to say about that. The post on X says, "If true, poetic justice." Comment down below says, "Oh, does it suck to find out via Twitter, little bitch boy." There was a part of this that I thought was really sweet from Jay Weinberg's father, Max Weinberg, the legendary drummer for the E Street Band. He was also on Conan O'Brien. And he was wishing his son well and telling him how proud he was of him throughout this entire ordeal. And I just thought that was so wholesome. He commented on Jay Weinberg's Instagram post. His dad said, "For 33 years, you've made your mom and I 100% proud. This moment is no exception. You're a class act. Love, Dad." Last month, we got the shocking news that Slipknot had fired Jay Weinberg. The fans are still reeling from this decision, understandably. Very little is known about his dismissal from the band, and in Slipknot fashion, they are not commenting on that choice. Now, Jay Weinberg is reflecting on his near decade in the band. He shared a very heartfelt post, and he also returned to the stage last night shortly after a surgery that he underwent. He seems to be recovering very well from that. But this is what Jay had to say, reflecting on his time in the band for nearly a decade. I thought this was so nice. First, I just want to say I've always loved his masks, and he's got them there on the shelf. He wrote, "For 19 years, my goal in music and art have always centered around maintaining some sort of forward motion. It feels a bit paradoxical at times to look in the rearview mirror, but some moments and milestones are significant enough to take pause and reflect. Today marks the 10th anniversary of becoming a part of something I grew up believing in. I don't hold on to many mementos, but to me, these represent a decade of focused and impassioned dedication to that forward movement. Throughout that time, I learned much about application, tenacity, and the satisfaction of committing to breaking through creative thresholds, reaching those artistic goals through constant, concentrated hard work, all fueled by the true love of the music. In some respects, the person who wore the mask on the right and the person who wore the mask on the left feel like two completely different individuals, separated only by experience gained, miles traveled, friendships created, and a connection the instrument strengthened and deepened so far beyond what I thought was possible. The memories and experiences that these four masks represent, I wouldn't trade for the world, and I'm honored to have been there every step of the way." When you look at Jay Weinberg and you see what he went through, you have really two choices. You could sit back and be bitter and upset, or you could keep moving, and that is obviously what he is doing. He's getting back up on stage, performing for the first time with the Bouncing Souls. He joined them on stage behind the kit in Nashville. He shared some thoughts about that as well. He's obviously not going to take this sitting by. He's going to keep going forward, and I know a lot of fans are very excited about what he has coming up in the future. Here's what Jay had to say. "First of all, can we appreciate that this man had to be crutched up to the kit? That is dedication. He just underwent a surgery, and that is not going to stop him from performing." He wrote, "What an absolutely incredible night, seeing one of my all-time favorite bands, Bouncing Souls. My sincere thanks for the kind invitation to jam. It felt amazing to play drums for the first time since my operation, especially this iconic belief-affirming anthem. There's a story I've told many times. Perhaps I'll tell it in greater detail sometime. When I was 14, I was very shy about being a novice drummer. I wanted to keep my new passion for this instrument private, not sharing my progress with anyone, even my immediate family, knowing his father is a legendary drummer. As I taught myself how to play along with my favorite songs and albums. The Souls have been my hometown New Jersey heroes for some time. were actually the first people to hear me play drums. They generously invited me to sit in for a song or two at a secret show in May of 2005, which ended up being the first time I'd ever played drums in front of anyone. It's still to this day the single most foundational moment of how I've come to appreciate and cherish playing drums in a live setting. Endless gratitude to them, of course, for being key friends in that event, for setting me on a path of loving live performance. Last night felt just as electric as that pivotal night in my life, and I'm thankful for the friendship of the souls and the wonderful community that surrounds them. True believers all the way. Great to see Jay behind the kit. Looking forward to whatever comes next for him. That's your latest update. It now hasn't taken long for Jay Weinberg to find a new band, of course, given his talent. He was very sought after, I imagine, by a number of different bands, and he's just released a statement confirming he is now the new drummer of Suicidal Tendencies, the legendary thrash and hardcore band formed in Venice, Los Angeles back in 1980. And while this is obviously a heartbreaking situation to go through, it is great to see that it didn't take long for Jay Weinberg to find a new band in Suicidal Tendencies at that, which is a legendary group. This is the statement he just released announcing the big news. The statement just in from Jay Weinberg says, "When I think of the culture and community of heavy music that I've loved and considered my creative home for 20 years, I think of Suicidal Tendencies, a foundational pillar and source of inspiration ever since I fell in love with punk, metal, and hardcore. Having toured and played shows together all over the world, I've been so fortunate to become friends with my musical heroes who have been a part of this band's incredible history. It's an absolute honor and privilege to play with Suicidal Tendencies, and I can't wait to start this incredibly exciting new chapter in just 1 week. See you in the pit." It's great to see Jay Weinberg in another band that means so much to him, but also he's still recovering from a surgery that he had recently, and it really shows his dedication to that recovery process to get back up on stage as soon as possible, which he will be doing in short order here with Suicidal Tendencies. Another thing about this is that Jay Weinberg could have really kind of just sat around and felt sorry for himself. It's obviously a disappointing situation to be let go from a band like Slipknot. And I think it says a lot about him that he's getting right back up on his feet and joining another band that means a lot to him. Obviously, I know the fans are going to want to see him play and are going to show up to these shows as well. So that is great news. Congratulations to Jay Weinberg on this new position. The metal world was shocked by the announcement that Jay Weinberg was no longer a member of Slipknot. This was a move that totally caught the fans off guard, and to this day, they are still wondering what exactly led to that decision. From the Slipknot point of view, they say that this was a creative decision. They just wanted to move in a different direction, and Jay had been with the group for 10 years. They commended him for his time in the band. Now, for Jay Weinberg's part, he says he was heartbroken and blindsided by the band's decision to fire him. And of course, with the type of talent that Jay Weinberg has, it wouldn't take long for him to get picked up by another band. He just played his first show with Suicidal Tendencies. Now, as for Clown, he's talking about this directly for the first time, and he says that there are no hard feelings in that decision to move on from Jay. Promoting Knotfest Australia, Clown said, "I'm very excited about this idea of a new drummer. There's many reasons for it. It's not to be confused. It doesn't matter what the situation may seem like. Unless you're in a band and understand, there's no hard feelings. There never was. We just went our way. There was really no bad things. That's as much as I can say." But that's not all Clown had to say. He continued, "What I can say is that Slipknot decided to move on, and that what we've done, and I'm very excited for what we've done, and that we're really working hard. And there will be new music, there will be new masks, there will be new people, there will be new ideas celebrating the 25-year anniversary. I would imagine there'd be some shows. It can be 200 people, 500 people, 700 people, 2,000 people. So what if it was just a creative decision to go with a different drummer who may be more appealing to you stylistically, as we're now seeing with who is likely the drummer at this point, Eloy Casagrande, who of course randomly parts ways with Sepultura on the verge of their farewell tour for an opportunity he was unable to disclose to the band. The band was bewildered by that move. They were confused by it. They indicate in their statement they don't know why. And so when you look at it from that lens, it kind of starts to make sense. And that triggered a domino effect where you had Grayson DeCrotman leave Suicidal Tendencies to go over to Sepultura. You potentially have Eloy Casagrande leaving Sepultura to go to Slipknot, and you have Jay Weinberg being let go from Slipknot and going to Suicidal Tendencies. This was definitely a situation that triggered a domino effect in the drumming space. One thing's for certain in this situation, both parties now appear to have moved on. Jay looks like he's having a great time out with Suicidal Tendencies, and Slipknot is gearing up to take the stage with whoever their new drummer is.
Half of my brothers, thank you so fucking much for fucking making tonight's so goddamn amazing, man. Thank you so much.
I love Slipknot. To this day, I love Slipknot.